the Madman! Welcome to a card review that spans the ages. One could say that custom Hearthstone card reviews are ageless, just like Aaron the Ageless. 4 mana, 3/3, legendary. Battlecry, add today's random legendary minion to your hand. Speaking of ageless, this review spans 5 weeks and are 10 of the more interesting cards that I found from those weeks. Not necessarily good, but interesting. Such as Aaron the Ageless. It's a 4 mana, 3/3, and it's all chaos. Very sadly, I think I have to give the design on this 2 stars, and the balance 5 stars. What a cool idea. The concept, by the way, behind add today's random legendary minion to your hand is that every single day, a new legendary is chosen as legendary of the day, and Aaron the Ageless will stay in your deck and will always fetch you that specific legendary minion. I mean, also, by the way, for ultimate chaos, sometimes the random legendary minion of the day is going to be Shudderwalk, and you're going to be playing a rogue Battlecry deck, and then you're going to be like, oh, holy crap, I should run Aaron the Ageless. And then suddenly, for a day, you have rogues running Shudderwalk. I actually really like the idea, but sometimes it would be pretty OP because specific legendaries from classes are not meant to be used in other classes. Quite possibly too crazy even for Hearthstone. Next up, we have a card that was designed during the time that Descent of Dragons was revealing cards. It's Dragon Tracker. A 3 mana 3/3 Battlecry. If you aren't holding a dragon, draw a dragon. Oh, that's actually pretty awesome. Design 5 stars, balance 4 stars. I think this really encourages you to have dragons. But also, at the same time, if you're running too many dragons, then that's bad, because then you won't get the battle cry of draw a dragon. It's a little dangerous to tutor for specifically a dragon, because maybe you're going to get really consistent tutors for Malagos or Alexstrasza or some other crazy high-powered dragon. But I'm going to say that might be okay. It's a little bit too well statted, though. I think 3 mana 2/3 or 3/2 should do. It's really interesting to have a card that says, if you are not holding a dragon, then do this. Tar Rager, a 4 mana 5/1 elemental, which has +4 health during your opponent's turn. This one is a very cautious design 5 stars, balance 5 stars, but oh boy is this some power creep. It's a play on, of course, the Rager stats being a 5/1, but also on Tar Creeper. So what do you get when you mix Tar and a Rager? Well, you get a 5/1 that gets +4 health during your opponent's turn instead of the usual plus attack. That's a really cool concept. The problem, it's a 4 mana 5/5. I do believe Hearthstone is at the point where you can have a 4 mana 5/5 not break the game, but not only that, it's a 4 mana 5/5 with a benefit, because if your opponent does any damage to the Tar Rager, but without killing it, well, it's your turn, becomes back to a 5/1, and the damage is lost. But there is also a downside. It's really hard for Tar Rager to trade profitably on your turn because you can't use it to kill a 4/5 and still survive. So an interesting, very interesting drawback as well as benefit, which make me think that Tar Rager gets the go-ahead, along with my belief that a 4 mana 5/5 vanilla minion is okay to print in today's Hearthstone. Goodbye, Yeti. Red Carpet Escort, a 4 mana 2/2 with Taunt and Battlecry, draw a minion. Legendaries first. It's a card that tutors for your legendary, but even if you've drawn all your legendaries, it still draws. And I think it would be cool if there was a tier order, like legendaries, and then epics, and then rares. And then commons. Commons. The flavor is there, but the question is, should this card be in the game? And my answer, design 2 stars, balance 5 stars? There's a lot of problem with creating consistency in drawing a specific legendary. There are a lot of things like Alexstrasza or Malagos that would be very dangerous when you could consistently fetch them, and yes, I did just give the okay to Dragon Tracker, but that's specifically dragons, and you know, even Dragon Tracker is a little bit scary, I'll admit. But Red Carpet Escort can hit any minion, of which many strategies might be built around. Maybe you consistently draw a Highlander legendary in Highlander decks, Like, for example, you can always fetch Shudderwalk, you can fetch Kronks, which can fetch Galakron. Anka in your Rogue Death Rattle strategy is just really, really dangerous to have around. And I feel like this kind of consistency should not be there for legendaries, which are inherently non-consistent due to the one-offs in a deck. Fresh Apple, a Druid 1-mana spell which restores 5 health and rots in 3 turns. But oh, what's happened when it's rotted? It's a 1-mana spell that deals 3 damage. Oh, cool. Design 5 stars, balance 5 stars. I like cards that have different modes in them. And while 1 mana restore 5 health isn't very good, 1 mana deal 3 damage is very good. But it's 1 mana deal 3 damage after a few turns. I think it's cool that you have to wait a bit for a spell to be ready. Both sides of the apples could be used, and it'll be a bit of a skill to decide whether or not to wait. I think this could be an entire mechanic of cards that changed into doing something else after a certain amount of time. Party formed! Everyone loves mystery boxes as a 3-mana paladin spell which adds a random mage spell, paladin minion, and warrior weapon to your hand. The classic DPS tank and healer party, with the paladin being the healer presumably. Design 5 stars, balance 5 stars. I asked myself, is paladin really the best class to bring a lot of classes together? You know, paladins do represent leadership. I could see it in paladin. Makes a lot of sense. But also, maybe this could be a priest mechanic, since priests are trying to find their identity right now. Maybe priests could just have a lot of companions from different classes. Different flavors for different classes, but the idea is really good. I think this also interacts interestingly with the fact that Paladin is the pure class with the Light Forged, where you're supposed to just put Paladin cards into your deck. Well, what if you put a card in your Paladin only deck that generated cards from other classes as well? Interesting. Double Cross, a rogue 5-mana spell that takes control of an enemy minion, then deals 10 damage to it. Design 5 stars, balance 3 stars. People look at it and will immediately say, better assassinate. Yes, it's an assassinate, which not only cancels the opponent's death rattle, but actually lets you get its death rattle. And if the minion has Divine Shield, you just take control of the minion without Divine Shield. This is certainly really good against Necroom Apothecary. The card is too powerful as is, and I think 6 mana would still be pushing the card. It would be a very strong card against strong death rattles. But 6 mana might be okay, because most of the time, this card does just assassinate a card. And during those times, paying 6 mana for it will kind of suck. Big Bad Trickster, a 105 mana 4/6 beast with a rush. With the text, while this is in your hand, this is also a dragon. Ooh, what a cool flavor. Design 5 stars, balance 5 stars. The idea is simple and you can see it from the art. This is a worgen, or perhaps a beast. This is quite a bit like Big Bad Wolf, where it's a wolf that's disguised as another thing. This thing is disguised so well that it looks like a dragon. And I think the 5 mana 4/6 rush is a fine stat line, especially when you compare it with Faceless Corruptor, which is 5 mana for 4/4 rush, and arguably +3/+3 to another thing. Diplom, a 2 mana 2/1 beast for Hunter with rush, and overkill, summon another Diplom. Clearly, it's a mix between Whirlwind and Arcane Shot, because maybe it just deals 2 damage, maybe it deals a bunch of 1 damage, and then summons a 2/1 at the end or something. Design 5 stars, balance 5 stars. I really like the idea of the card. I feel like you don't have to limit the fact that this has overkill. Could just say, when this minion deals excess damage to another minion, summon another Diplom. You know, to remove the overkill tag, since overkill is probably a set-specific mechanic. And let's close off this session of custom cards with yet another cool Hunter card. Trump card of the video is Favored Enemy. 3 mana Hunter spell, deal 2 damage to a minion. Your hero power can target minions of that type. If you cast Favored Enemy on a dragon, then your hero power becomes deal 2 damage to a dragon or the enemy hero. So it's just like a strict buff on your default Hunter hero power. If you target an Amalgam, you can just hit every single tribed minion. And of course, if you target a non-tribe card, then that doesn't do anything towards your hero power, doesn't upgrade it. So I'm gonna say design 5 stars, balance 1 star. This card could be buffed, and with the power level of Descent of Dragons, I'm gonna say it could even be 1 mana. So that's a huge cut on the mana of this card. But 1 mana, deal 2 damage to a minion, and then buff your hero power to be kind of specifically be good against that minion. Yeah, that seems like it could be good. And it's a cool reference to Dungeons and Dragons as well. Rangers do have the favorite enemy trait. So I love the flavor behind favorite enemy, and that makes this card the trump card